Hey, welcome to this video, and today we're going to take a look at the Wi-Fi 7 AP from Juniper Mist, the AP47. I have it in the box in front of me, and we're going to take a look at what's in the box, and then in the process we're going to talk about what this AP can do. So very excited to be doing this today. First of all, I want to show you, just like how we showed you last time, but on any AP boxes you have from Juniper, you'll see that you have a whole bunch of QR codes here that will give you things like the model number, the serial number, the MAC address. And so if you are unboxing a lot of them, or if you are deploying a lot of them, then you can just leave the box closed, scan them, and get into a software, into a CSV file, and that makes it easier for you to then automate some of that deployment when you have to do a lot of APs. So if we open the box, you'll see that it is a very simple unboxing experience. We have the access point here. You can see we have a little paper here, or it's actually a plastic that's telling us to go to support.mist.com if we want to get access to the installation guides and the technical documentation. So I'll put that aside. And then we have the AP itself. So this one is the AP47i, meaning that it has internal antennas. And these AP also come in two other flavors, the AP47D and the AP47E. So we'll talk about these flavors a little bit later in this video. And that's what the AP looks like. It's a tiny bit bigger than the previous generation, the AP45. But it has the same look and feel with the way it's shaped. You still have the LED light that's slightly offsetted into one side, so we can actually understand the orientation of how this AP is mounted horizontally speaking. That matters for BLE and location purposes. And at the back here, what we do have at the back is we have two Ethernet ports. And these one are 10 gig Ethernet ports. So you can actually connect both of them, and they have seamless failover if you lose connectivity from one of them. They also have a USB port. So if you need to power something via USB, if you forgot to charge your phone or something, you can always power it by this USB port. And then they also have little feeds. So we have 4 feeds here that will be used to connect the bracket. You can also connect bracket from other vendors. And you've also noticed that they've added 2 small threaded inserts, and that's also to support other vendors' brackets if you're transitioning to Mist from another vendor. So they've made it even more convenient for us to make it work. Before I talk about the specs, let's take a look at what else is in the box. So you'll see that you'll have a little template here. And then you have the bracket, which is the same Mist universal bracket that they've been shipping their gear with. You have tons of alternatives on the website if you look at the data sheets, but this one is very simple. You can simply lock it in place like this, and it will just allow you to install the APs on a typical drop-down ceiling rail. They support different sizes. You can see it here, 15/16 or 9/16. And this bracket will do the job for most of the installation. You can also screw these brackets if you're installing the AP under like a hard ceiling or like a drywall ceiling. So this is why they call it the universal bracket, is because it's meeting a lot of these installation types. And then if you notice as well, we have a little paper bag here inside the box. And if I just put it on the table here, it looks like we have a couple of a screw, and then this little bit here. I'm not too sure what this is for, but maybe we'll put it in the comments, or if you guys know what this is for, you can put it in the comments of this video. That comes with the AP inside of it. So I'll just put it back. I'm going to put the box aside. And then we will talk about the specification of this access point. So this access point is a Wi-Fi 7 AP. This is like the flagship Wi-Fi 7 AP from Juniper Mist. It has 4 radios inside of it. So you have three radios that we're going to use for Wi-Fi access, so 2.4, 5, and 6. And you have a fourth radio that's a dedicated scanning radio that's just here to scan the environment and provide more information to the Mist cloud. When it comes to the radios, we have different modes of operation. We have one 6 gigahertz radio, one 5 gigahertz radio, and we have a software-defined radio that we can use as a 2.4, a 5, or 6 gigahertz radio. So you can actually have this AP operate in a 2.4, 5, and 6 mode. You can also do 2.4, 5, and 5, and you can also do 5, 6, and 6. So you have a lot more flexibility in how you want to use your radios with this access points. All of these radios that I've talked about, they are all 4x4x4, and this is why for these access points you need PoE++ to make it work. So you need 803.BT class 6 to make it work. And if you don't have PoE++, if your switches are only PoE+, you can still make it work, but you will have to compromise on a couple of things. What you can do is you can either disable one of the three access radios. So if you only use two radios, let's say you only want to do 5 and 6, you can still operate in a 4x4 mode with having two radios on instead of three. Or what you can do is have all the radios enabled, but if you do, then they will downgrade themselves automatically to a 2x2 radio if you only have PoE+. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Also, if you only have a PoE+, you won't be able to leverage the USB port to provide power to an external source. So that's one thing to keep in mind as well. It would be safer to go with PoE++ if you're thinking of leveraging these new Wi-Fi 7 APs. Okay, last thing I want to talk about before I end up this little unboxing video experience here is to talk about the different flavors of AP47 that Juniper is offering. The one I have in front of me here is the I, so the 47i model. And this means that we have actually it's not called 47i, it's just called 47, but it has internal antennas. So the antennas that we have for these models are internal, and we have a 4 dBi gain for the 2.4 antennas and 6 dBi gain for the 5 and the 6 gigahertz antennas. So that's for the this model, and the antennas are omnidirectional antennas. So actually, if I head over to the data sheet here and I look at the data sheet, you can kind of see this is the 2.4 antenna, but you can kind of see the omnidirectional pattern here. We have it for 2.4, 5, and 6, even though you notice that we kind of have like a down tilt omnidirectional patterns. Most of the energy will go down if you install the AP under the ceiling. So this is very typical of these type of omnidirectional antennas with or APs with integrated antennas. But that's not it. The second flavor that they came out with is called the 47D, and D stands for directional. So they've actually integrated a directional antenna inside the AP. So you don't need to actually connect an external antenna to get the directional signal propagation. They actually integrated a directional antenna that has a beam width of 60 by 60. So it has a 60 by 60 beam width antenna that's built into the AP, and the gain is a little higher than the omnidirectional model. They have a gain of 6 dBi on 2.4 and 8 dBi on 5 and 6. So it's actually 2 dBi gain compared to the omnidirectional model. And so if I head back to the data sheet and I take a look at the D model, here you can see that we have a much more directional aspect to the radiation pattern, and this is where we get the 60 by 60 propagation pattern. So this could be very useful, especially if you do high density. I'm thinking a lecture hall for a university where you want to focus the signal a little bit more towards a group of seats. Then instead of having an antenna with, an AP with external antennas, you can just buy one of these D models and you have the directional antenna included into the AP. And it's making it much more convenient to deploy directional antennas on 6 gigahertz. And finally, the last model that they have is the E model. So they have a model of the 47 with external connectors that you can use to connect external antennas. So they actually have 3 connectors with different amount of pins to be able to connect external antennas. And that will allow you to support external antennas for all 3 bands, the 2.4, the 5, and the 6 gigahertz frequency band. Right, so that's it. That's it for this unboxing video. We'll put the link to the data sheet of the AP in the comments or in the description of this video. If you want to learn more about it, you can take a look at this. And if you are ever interested in deploying this in your environment, feel free to reach out to us and we'll be happy to help you with. Thank you.